MotoGP in 2025 has been defined by one storyline above all. Marc Marquez rewriting the history books on a Ducati, and Valentino Rossi's shadow still looming large over every single milestone. The Hungarian Grand Prix at Balaton Park was yet another masterclass in Marquez's dominance. But the results on track, as impressive as they are, only tell half the story. The real drama, the deep, enduring narrative, lies in what those victories mean for MotoGP's records, its most bitter rivalries, and its very reputation. Winning in Hungary was not just about points, it was about history. With his triumph at Balaton Park, Marquez added the 22nd difference circuit where he has stood on the top step in MotoGP. That number leaves him just one behind Valentino Rossi's legendary mark of 23. To put this into perspective, Rossi, across a career spanning over 2 decades, conquered tracks from Welcome in South Africa to Sepang in Malaysia. It was the ultimate demonstration of adaptability. No matter the asphalt, the climate, or the pressure, Rossi found a way. For Marquez, the challenge is different. Modern MotoGP calendars do not expand as rapidly as they once did, and opportunities to add new wins are increasingly rare. And yet, he still has at least 2 realistic shots this season: Mandalika in Indonesia and Portimao in Portugal. Mandalika, a track that has already delivered 3 different winners in 3 editions, represents fertile ground for a conqueror like Marquez. A victory there would tie him with Rossi at 23. Portimao, a circuit where Ducati's horsepower advantage is often enormous, could then see him draw level with Mick Doohan's record of 24 different circuit wins. And looking beyond, new venues in Brazil and Argentina beckon from 2026 onward, potentially lifting him to an astonishing 27. The record is tantalizingly within reach, but it also shows the razor-thin line Marquez treads. If injury, mechanical failure, or even calendar politics intervene, he may never get the clean, comprehensive sweep that Rossi once managed. In this way, Rossi's achievement still feels uniquely untouchable, a permanent reminder of how MotoGP in the 2000s was shaped by global expansion and of one man's phenomenal ability to adapt to anything thrown his way. If Marquez's current domination continues, the cruel irony for Rossi fans is clear. His 9th world title could be sealed not in Spain, not in Asia, but at Misano. On the Adriatic coast, in the very heart of Rossi's VR46 Academy territory, Marquez could mathematically end the championship battle with multiple races still to spare. The numbers are straightforward. If Marquez doubles up with strong weekends at Barcelona and then Misano, while his brother Alex struggles, the title would be his with 6 whole rounds left. Such an early coronation hasn't been seen since the days of Giacomo Agostini in the early 1970s. It would mark a historic milestone, but one loaded with immense symbolism. Just imagine the atmosphere. Misano, a circuit where seas of yellow flags for Rossi still dominate the grandstands, could be forced to watch the doctor's old nemesis lift a crown in front of his most adoring fans. The Marquez camp insists people are civilized, but the tension would be electric, undeniable. For Rossi loyalists, this would not feel like sport. It would feel like a profound invasion. For Marquez fans, it would be the ultimate statement, conquering not just the tracks, but the psychological bastion of his greatest rival. And yet, intriguingly, Marquez himself seems almost uneasy at how effortlessly everything has fallen into place. His coach, José Luis Martinez, admitted after Hungary that even Marc is panicking because of the turn of events and how everything is going for him. That kind of dominance, where every variable feels perfect, is incredibly rare in MotoGP, and history tells us it never lasts long. This is where the story takes its darkest, most contentious turn. The ghost of 2015 is never far away. Valentino Rossi has never forgiven Marquez for the events of that season, and his words, repeated in interviews years later, still carry the raw venom of betrayal. Rossi revealed just how deeply he believed Marquez had conspired against him during the Australian and Malaysian Grands Prix. He described Marquez's behavior as awful and absurd, claiming the Spaniard deliberately set out to stop him from winning his elusive 10th World Championship. Rossi stated, With Marquez, it was totally different because that wasn't a sporting rivalry on the circuit anymore. At some point, he decided to make me lose the championship, having someone else win. Not even his teammate, it was my teammate. He was making up excuses, when in reality, to him I had to be destroyed. I was the myth to destroy, so he could take my place. Absurd. That language, destroyed, is chilling. Rossi was not talking about hard racing. He was accusing Marquez of deliberately distorting the very spirit, the integrity of MotoGP itself. In Rossi's eyes, Phillip Island was proof. Marquez, comfortably the fastest man on track, allegedly slowed to help Rossi's own teammate, Jorge Lorenzo, win. The following race at Sepang then escalated the feud to its infamous climax, culminating in Rossi's kick and the subsequent penalty that ultimately cost him the world title in Valencia. Marquez, of course, has always denied these accusations. He insists his only motivation was ever to win races. But in the mythology of MotoGP, the 2015 feud has transcended fact. It has become legend. And Rossi's words still ignite furious debates today. Was it a one-off personal vendetta, or simply the ruthless calculation of a champion in the making? Loris Capirossi, himself no stranger to controversy, believes time will eventually soften the animosity. I think they, Rossi and Marquez, will also stop it over time, Capirossi explained. Time always makes everything right when you don't race anymore. Indeed, Rossi has already reconciled with past rivals like Max Biaggi, Casey Stoner, and Jorge Lorenzo, men with whom he once traded barbs as sharp as any with Marquez. The fact that Rossi has invited Lorenzo and Biaggi to his ranch is proof that the fiercest on-track rivals can share laughs once the helmets are hung up for good. But a reconciliation with Marquez? That feels fundamentally different. Unlike the others, their feud was never simply about track space or a momentary clash. It was about legacy. Rossi believed on a fundamental level that Marquez wanted to actively take his place, to burn down the empire he had built. Whether that perception is true or not, it has lingered, stubbornly. And until both men are fully retired from MotoGP's competitive and managerial spheres, a true reconciliation seems unlikely. This deep-seated rivalry frames the entire historical context of Marquez's current success. What are your thoughts on this incredible chapter in MotoGP history? Do you believe Marquez will break Rossi's record for different circuits won? And can these two giants of the sport ever truly bury the hatchet? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the legacy and rivalry that defines a generation, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more upcoming MotoGP content. Thanks for watching.